I'm pretty sure my disk space is nearly full, so I don't know how much of this I'm actually going to be able to record before it goes. But basically, I'm trying to relay like a conceptual hypothesis. I have been doing for the past 3 days research that I picked up on maybe back in January, so it's now May. For some reason, like it all kind of makes sense with each other, and I have no idea why. I just start writing like random stuff and hope that it like makes sense or like comes to a conclusion, but I never come to a conclusion. I just keep going with like the research and I don't know what direction I'm going in. And I haven't been able to communicate or relay any of this information in a coherent matter, which is what is paining me at the moment because I don't know how to do about it. I'm just speaking. I was reading a paper about pre-angiogenesis, and angiogenesis is basically where blood vessels supply oxygen to tumours, right? And the fact that the tumour could move or come out of dormancy, because in this paper, I'll link it. When the scientists studied the system, they used what is called ordinary differential equations, and this is a mathematical equation that they used, which meant that they found that the system doesn't always settle down into a steady state. Instead, it can start oscillating, which leads to like chaotic and unpredictable patterns, right? And then a thought came to me about how I went over loads of stuff to do with like chaos theory in the brain and to do with complexity theory, are thought and behaviour patterns in the brain, like neural activity kind of acts similar to chaos theory. So it was kind of like similar. So I was like, cancer and neurological like disorders or neuroscience, I was like, it's kind of, there's similar patterns, there's similar behaviours here. So then I started like thinking about fields of like potentiality, how it's what's called like, there's a net zero state, which in classical physics, they discuss that's basically where there's no matter at all. It's like entirely like empty space. However, in quantum field theory, it is empty, but it's not completely void. There is, it's got potential, so it's fields of potential. The field is there, and it can form particles, but at the moment they're just waves. In quantum mechanics, where they say that we have the observer effect, big on Henry, like Stapp here, how consciousness can collapse the wave function. We have two things where it could be like waves or particles, and you can, through the observer effect, through consciousness, change a wave into a particle. Whoa. I don't know what happened there. I've forgotten what I was looking at now. Wave into a particle. Consciousness is ontological fundamental. Ontological fundamental means that it's pre-existing. It's like a fundamental building block of reality. Like it's always been there. It's always been present. It's primitive. It might couple to other fields in unknown ways. Is consciousness literally sound like that dude that's like explaining a Rubik's Cube. The organization of information in the case of like chaos theory and like with fractals that you have, and as an attractor, the initial conditions at the very beginning, whether that be the chemical impulses, the cues, and then your observer effect, could all act as an informational attractor and reduce entropy, so then it would give it structure according to the majority of the information. Microbiome can give cues basis on memory, chemical impulses, things like that. And then as a bidirectional relationship, because that's just how world works. I feel like things are always interplay, like they always like bounce off each other. They can always change each other. This is where it starts going into like bottom up, top down sort of effects. Brain gut axis interact in a deeply integrated way. Human consciousness is fundamental. It might be tied to a field that permeates space, analogous to a scalar field like the Higgs. Human could then be imbued not just with energy but with potential consciousness or information bearing capacity.